For those who don't know, the backwards antler hat means I'm about to speak some wisdom. So perk up your ears for me. So you clicked on this video and you're like, this is going to be my year. You probably said that every year, because everyone says it every year, that everyone wants it to be the year, but they're not willing to actually do the things necessary to make it their year. And this video is going to guide you through the things you need to do that are necessary. But the key word there is things you need to do. I can't force you to do things. You watching this video won't make it your year. It's more you doing the things that are said in this video. So before we start, you got to get your mindset clear here. Because you probably got a little monkey brain up there. It ain't completely clear. So you got to clear it out. You got to get rid of some of those little distractions. And to start, you need to open up your phone right now. Or if you're already on it, which you probably are, go to the app TikTok and delete it. And you might be saying, my feed pics, my Overwatch porn. And I get it. Those are just some of the sacrifices that are needed if you want to make this truly the best 2023 and 2024 to ever exist in existence. So do it. And then do the same thing for Instagram. And then go into your settings, type in notifications on the top or whatever, click notifications, and turn most of them off. Obviously, there's some you need. You need like an alarm clock notification still. I made the mistake of turning that off and woke me up late. So don't do that. But turn off a majority of your notifications. And then turn on Do Not Disturb. And then look deep into my eyes and kiss me. By distraction-proofing your phone, I guess you could say. Because I guess it's kind of like baby-proofing your house when you put cushions all around the corners so your baby doesn't bust its head. It's like doing that for your mind so your mind doesn't bust itself. Now that you've done that, you've committed yourself. Best grades, more money, best social life you've ever had. And now I just want your attention. You just got to listen to what I'm saying. So what I always like to start out with when explaining self-improvement is that it really all is mental. It's all mental health. Because you always see Andrew Eubanks lifting. And that's great. And I'll get to that in a moment. But you got to start out with your mental health. I already had you distraction-proof your phone. And distractions, they do clog up your mental health. We kind of don't realize it. But when you're scrolling on TikTok all day and when you're constantly getting a buzz in your pocket, it just kind of clogs up your mind. And the best way to unclog your mind besides removing the distractions is to meditate. And you hear meditation, you're probably like, oh, that's some tree hugger shit. That's definitely what I thought when I first heard it. But if you do meditation for 1 month straight, 5 minutes, 10 minutes a day, you'll notice that you're there more. That mental fuzz that once reigned over what you thought was just because you're too tired or something, it's gone. You're more present. In general advice for meditation, because it really is a simple thing, literally just think about your breathing as you breathe. Like, don't control it. Don't control your breathing. You just you breathe. And you're like, oh, I'm breathing. You focus on that. But get this app called Medito. I said that in such a Spanish way. Medito. Get the app. Makes things 10 times easier to be consistent. And it gives you little pointers. Steven's voice, he's like, if your thoughts trail off. The next mental unclogger is journaling. And it's not like Diary of a Wimpy Kid, because I used to think that as well, that it was kind of like a diary. I'd open up my journal like, today I did so well in school, and then it started raining out, and I love the rain. That's not what it's supposed to be. That's a diary. That's its own thing. If you want to keep track of your days like Anne Frank. But A journal is supposed to untangle your thoughts. Say you got tangled up earbuds. Writing down your thoughts untangles them. Writing down what's been on your mind, what your mind has been obsessing over, and writing it out. And there's dozens of benefits, not just unclogging your brain, but also bringing new ideas to your line of vision so you can find new things to focus on, find new things that you truly do enjoy. A big one that even myself I need to do more is to go outside. As cliche as it sounds, like go touch grass. You need to touch grass. More specifically, you need to take in the grass. Like you need to eat it like a cow. Go outside and just stop thinking for a little bit. I guess it's almost like another form of meditation. But you need to go outside and just take in the air, take in the sounds, take in the sight. Nothing else on your brain. Getting your vitamin D. I remember the first, I would say month. I did this for a while, for like a couple months. And the first month I did it, where I would go outside for like 20 minutes a day and like take it in. After like a week, I noticed myself uncontrollably smiling at times. And I can't remember the last time I uncontrollably smiled. And the biggest dragger of mental health, which I can say most people deal with this, is self-esteem, feeling insecure, feeling like you're not enough. And that all comes down to self-respect, because self-esteem is based on self-respect. It's like, think about it like this. You have an opinion of someone, right? If that person's lazy, you're probably not going to respect them as much, right? And that's how it is within yourself. If you're lazy, you're not going to respect yourself. You're going to have poor self-esteem, and therefore you're going to have poor mental health. And inherently, by doing self-improvement, by making progress, your self-esteem gets better because you gain self-respect. So your mental health will improve just by staying consistent with things, with making progress. And obviously exercising, you always hear about the endorphins that are so good, that are released, and of course that's great. But exercising, once again, increases your self-esteem, not even just because, oh, I look better, I got an aesthetic physique. No, it's because you proved yourself. Say you work out 4 times a week and you do that 4 times a week for like a month straight. You proved to yourself that you can do something without giving up. You can stay disciplined, and therefore you'll gain self-respect. And on a side note, self-respect, people can tell when you have self-respect. They'll respect you more. It's all one big circle. And a lot of self-improvement YouTubers say to build muscle, and they're not wrong. But most people can't just like get a gym membership today. And you should get a gym membership at some point, but I want you sometime this week, no excuses, just go outside and run. Sure, you're not going to build muscle. If you're chubbier, you'll lose fat if you stay consistent with it. But you're not going to build some aesthetic physique, and that's all right. Because it's not to build an aesthetic physique, it's to prove to yourself that you can do something. At some point, get a gym membership. At some point, start bulking up. And get that bench press up. You know, get those lats and shoulders big, build that aesthetic physique. But for now, you just need to prove to yourself that you can do something. So run 1 to 2 times a week for like a month. Simple. Anyone can do it. Anyone can go outside and run. There's no excuses you could really make. My mom can't pick me up. Well, you just got to run home, I guess. And just this little bit of advice I've given you so far in this video will completely change your life. Within like 3 months of doing it, you'll feel like a different person. Your mental clarity will be peak, better than probably 90% of people. Your physical health will be pretty good. But something that I feel is very important when it comes to specifically the topic of making this school year your year is the flow state. And it's something you probably heard from like Michael Phelps or something. Like he enters the flow state before he goes for a Olympic record. Every athlete does it. Every successful person enters the flow state. The general explanation is where the only thing on your mind is the work you're doing. And it isn't easy to enter. And I would say the things I've told you to do before, you need to do them first before you can really enter the flow state. Hence why I'm telling the advice in this order, because it is chronological in a way. So you want good grades, you want to build a business, you want to start a YouTube channel of your own maybe, you need to learn to enter the flow state. Obviously the first step of entering the flow state is getting rid of any distractions. And you already did that, right, at the beginning of this video. Something else is wherever you're working, keep it the same. And keep it clean, obviously, but keep it the same as it always is. Keep your water in the same spot. Keep your pen in the same spot. Keep everything in the same spot as always. There's nothing unpredictable. There's nothing your brain can latch onto and be like, oh, I never noticed that. Just so you don't have to do the work. Because your brain will do that. I don't know why. Our brain always wants to be productive, but our brain is also trying to constantly fill itself with something that doesn't matter. Another thing, you start losing focus, because you will. It's hard to enter the full flow state. You got to force it for a while. And to force it, you literally, whatever you're doing, say you're studying, just stare at some word for a while. Like 20 seconds, just stare at the word. Every detail. Oh, it's a black word, a white background. Every detail, and then get back to it. That's the only thing you can really do when you get distracted. Because I know how it feels to get distracted. Everyone does. It's kind of like an unstoppable feeling. Kind of like being horny in a way. Like you can't just like not be horny. You can't just like not be distracted. So you gotta force it. And it's hard. And that's why most people can't enter the flow state, because it's hard. But nothing good comes easy. I think you've heard that before, but it's really true. Nothing good comes easy. Attentiveness, having good attention, having a good attention span. Not some 3-year-old toddler, crusty iPad kid attention span. Because you probably do have that. Most people have that. I had it. It's like training a muscle, training your attentiveness muscle. Probably your most important muscle, more important than your chest, arms, more important than your abs, is your attentiveness. Because the more attentive you are in the world, the more life you're actually going to live. The more times you're actually there, the more times you actually exist, the more life you're going to live. Related to distractions, I'm sure you expected it because I think it's been getting pretty popular, but nofap. More specifically, pornography. Can't say the other version. Watching porn, it absolutely wrecks your dopamine receptors, I like to call it. It's kind of like in a movie where like a robot is like, too much information, and then it blows up. That's what our dopamine receptors are, and most people have already gotten too much information. That's why most people are so fuzzy. That's why most people are off in their little head, in their own world. That's the whole point of this, is to get you out of there. Fix your dopamine sensors. And prawn fries them. Having sex is in our human nature. It's probably in the top 3 priorities. It is in the top 3 priorities as a human. Because we need to reproduce. So our human instincts will tell us to have sex. But opening your phone anytime you want and being able to look up videos of people getting raw dogged, Overwatch characters getting their weenies tickled, it's anytime you want, you can just do it. That's obviously going to fry your dopamine receptors. Not only does it obviously create unrealistic sexual expectations, which, it leads to ED, your weenie can't get hard, your little worm has a hard time choking it up. But it just leads to you feeling fuzzy, not feeling there. You're thinking about some video you watched of someone having sex. That's some cuck stuff, isn't it? It's kind of like being a cuck. You're jerking off to other people having sex. That's what a cuck does. And that's what it does to your brain. It cuckolds your brain. So the method to prawn is to wean off of it. Personally, I went cold turkey. But that was because of my situation. Like, I was dating someone. So it's a lot easier to go cold turkey when you're in a relationship. It really is. But you're not in a relationship. Maybe you aren't. Maybe you are. I don't know. Weaning off it. Start doing it less. Because you probably do it every day. Do it once a week for like 2 weeks. And then do it without the porn a couple times. And then just slowly stop. It's okay to tickle your wiener like every once in a while. Couple times a month. I guess there's nothing wrong with that. It won't harm you. But there are benefits to just not doing it all. But I'm not going to sit here and tell you that if you do it at all, it'll harm you, because it won't. But doing it too much, which most people do, it will harm you. And it probably already has. So start weaning off of it. The thing is with doing it every once in a while is it can be an introduction to addiction. Because you can just be like, I don't know, 3 months clean of prawn and then jerk off to nothing like once a month. And then one of the times you're like, it wouldn't hurt to look at some pictures or something. And then boom, 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 it snowballs. And then you're a porn addict again. And you have to redo the process. And there's no point in having to do that. So just have self-control. Stop being a cuck. Stop jerking off to people having sex. If you're an avid prawn watcher every night, you'll see a girl in public and you'll be thinking about her naked. You'll be thinking about piping her. That's not what you should be thinking about when you're walking around. Honestly, it isn't. It's become so normalized to like, oh, she has such big boobs. I wish they were in my face. That's so weird to walk around and say shit like that. Obviously, we're going to have thoughts sometimes. But it's not normal to walk around and be thinking about piping girls all the time. It's not. That brings me into my next section here. Social skills. Once you're off a prawn, it's a lot easier to develop your social skills. It really is. Being socially confident. Most people aren't, I've noticed. Maybe it's just because I'm young. The people I'm around are young. And most young people aren't going to be social butterflies all the time. But it is really important to be socially confident, because if you're social and you have a good social circle, you're just bound to be more successful. You're bound to be happier. Humans are tribal creatures. We're meant to be social. And if you aren't already limiting your beliefs and being like, oh no, I'm just an introvert. I'm a born introvert, which is true. You are born extrovert, introvert. It's based on how dopamine enters your brain. But introvert or extrovert, it doesn't matter. You're a human, which is made to be social. You are literally made to be social. That's why we speak. We speak a language. We are meant to be social. Born to be social. I should put that on a shirt. Born to be social. And sell it on Facebook to some mom. But methods to social confidence. Once you get past that, oh, I'm an introvert. Shut up. Be quiet. That's stupid as fuck. You're going to want to start by talking to your family more. That's a good, I guess it's training. Go up to your mom. Pause the video right now. Go up to your mom and be like, hey mom, how's your day? Talk to her. Go ahead. Talk to people you already know. Your friends. Whatever. That kind of goes in the same category as family. Just talk to people more that you know already. Kind of preparing you, learning how to use your vocal box properly without stuttering. And talk to peers, because this video is best school year. I assume you clicked this because you are in school. If not, you can still apply this advice. But specifically for you in school, you have such an advantage. You're around all these people your age. Don't waste it. Don't waste your opportunity. Use it to train your social skills. Say you have peers, buddies you don't talk to often, but you know them. Talk to them more. And you'll end up getting more friendships. Sure, some people you're not going to click with, but you'll still talk to them. You'll still train up your social bone. And you won't regret it. Becoming more social has got to be one of the best things I've done. Better than getting an aesthetic physique. Hell, even better than starting this channel. And after you're comfortable, you built up your social bone, you did progressive overload with your social bone, talk to complete strangers. You say you're in the checkout line at a store. Start talking to them. You know? Just say like, hey, what's up? It's that simple. And sure, some people are going to be like, oh, they're going to mumble and then walk away. And that happens. It is what it is. It doesn't matter. Still training up your social skills. But a method I like to use, currently I like to use, and I've used for a while, is when talking to people, you just say the most random shit. There's a common misconception that there's a script that you have to follow when having a conversation with a girl, with your friend, with anyone. There is no script. You can say the most bullshit things. Have you ever seen Wallace and Gromit? That's a classic. You ever had a Carolina Reaper pepper? Like, just stupid things. Anything that comes to your mind, you can say it. Who cares if it's weird? Who's going to remember you when you're the most normal, boring person who doesn't say anything? When they're just like, the weather's nice. That's why that's a cliche. It's because it is boring. No one wants to talk about the weather. People want to talk about Wallace and Gromit. People want to talk about what your favorite dinosaur is. It's all about those weird questions. It really is. That really opened me up to being social. And I recommend it. Goals and purpose. I can't lie to you. It's hard to fully wrap your head around purpose. I haven't fully wrapped my head around purpose. I'm currently taking a course about purpose, and I'll have it in the description below because so far it's been great and it's free. But I do understand goals, and I'm sure you do too. So right now, get out a journal, paper, pen, whatever the fuck. And based off the information I've given you, and based off your own life already, I want you to write down a couple goals. Whether it be a goal of consistency, something like I will do this every day or every week. Whether it be a long-term goal, I will accomplish this in a year. I will accomplish this in 6 months. Write down a few, some short-term, some long-term. And I want you to literally take that out of your notebook and tape it on your wall. Tape it on your wall. Look at this. This is my little YouTube goal thing. It's roughly thrown together 1 to 2 videos a week, valuable content that truly helps and it resonates with me. And remember what I want when I feel demotivated. And I thought it was cliche. Oh, tape it on your wall? What am I, Rocky or something? Yeah, you are Rocky. You're the main character. Obviously, because it's your life. So you need to do cliche things sometimes, like touch grass. You need to do cliche things like tape your goals on the wall. Because you want this to be your year. You're the main character of this year, of this school year. So get your goals and tape them on the wall and do them. There's not a lot of advice for staying consistent with your goals. That's where you come in. That's where you have to build your own discipline. That's where this video can't do anything for you. Because you have to prove your discipline to yourself, and you have to gain that self-respect to yourself. And you will. If you truly are committed, if you committed yourself at the beginning of this video, there's like an 80% higher chance that you're actually going to have a great year. If you haven't already committed yourself, do so right now. It's like a teacher where, like, if you haven't already written your name on the test, do so right now. But purpose. I talked about goals. Purpose. Purpose and goals. The reason I'm talking about them at the same time is because they do interlude. They interlapped with each other. A goal can be your purpose, whether it be a mini purpose or something like that. YouTube, I like to think, is my purpose. Whether it be a mini purpose for now or my overarching purpose, I'm not sure. Because I'm only 17 years old. But I know it's something I want. I know it's something my brain obsesses over now. And that's how I know it's a purpose of mine. And a purpose of mine, say, 2 years ago, year and a half, was to get an aesthetic physique. And I did that. And I still lift. But my focus has shifted more to YouTube than it has lifting. Not that I gave up lifting or anything. But it's focus shift. And that's how it is with purpose. Your purpose can change. Because some things are finite. Some purposes are finite. I'm not telling you right now, find some greater purpose for the next 50 years of your life. But find a general purpose as of now. Mini or big. Your purpose is to get all A's. That could be one of your purposes. Your purpose is to run a mile in 6 minutes. That could be one of your purposes. Your purpose is to make $1,000 off your business. Your purpose can come anywhere. You just got to choose one and stick to it. It's really that simple. All self-improvement is, sure, there's all these little methods, all this advice, but really all of it is discipline. Everything I've just talked about before is discipline. You need discipline. It's all to build your discipline, build your self-respect, and it will just make your life better. A disciplined life will always be better than a lazy life, always. No matter how rich you are, no matter how many OnlyFans girls you've bought from. Sure, it feels good in the moment, but the delayed gratification of discipline feels so much better. So much better. That's really all there is to it. And I was like, oh, this video, I'm going to be funny, goofy. I know I cracked a couple jokes in there. I usually always crack some wiener joke or something. And I did. But it kind of clicked halfway through that this is important. Sure, it's important to be humorous too, but this is important enough to be serious. Because too many young people, men and women, a lot of self-improvement YouTubers just talk about men. It's important to improve yourself as a woman too. But young men and women, they're so caught up in the dopamine loop cycle. Their entire life is just, when can I get a next dopamine hit? And that isn't what life was ever meant to be. That was a byproduct of becoming a comfortable and successful society, really. Suffering from success. So you need to force yourself to suffer. You need to force yourself to suffer because it's hard to suffer. And that's a good thing. It really is. We live in a world where it's hard to suffer, and that's great. And you should be grateful for it in a sense. And you should also be grateful for the fact that you can force yourself to suffer. And you should. Tomorrow, if you really are committed, you'll suffer one way or another. You'll suffer in talking to someone you never talked to. You'll suffer during your run. You'll suffer through the 10 minutes it takes to meditate, your brain whizzing and wanting to get a dopamine hit. You'll suffer through the self-control it takes to not touch your little hog. And if you want to speak to me, my Discord's in the description. I also have a free workout plan that you can follow, at-home workouts, so kind of avoids the idea of needing a gym membership. You can just start these tomorrow. You can start them today. You can start them whenever. If you like the antler hat, give this video a like. And I want to hear your philosophies down below. I like reading comments about, people's situations and whatever. So please feel free to comment, share your philosophies, share your story. And I'll see you in the next one.